Welcome to District Dialogues. My name is Marvin Arrington Jr., Fulton County Commissioner for District 5. District 5 encompasses the cities of Atlanta, South Fulton, East Point, Union City, and College Park. Some of the great landmarks in District 5 include Zoo Atlanta, the former Fort McPherson, which is now home to Tyler Perry's new movie studio, the Porsche headquarters, Camp Creek Marketplace, and my favorite, the Wolf Creek Amphitheater. During this show, I hope to share information about organizations, initiatives, and resources in District 5 and for areas that I champion for Fulton County. So let's get straight to it. I am a proud member of the Justice and Public Safety Committee for the National Association of Counties, also known as NACO. In our Justice and Public Safety segment, we like to share information from our partners that provide resources and information about justice and public safety. Please meet Chief Keith Meadows with the City of South Fulton Police Department, the Chief of the City of South Fulton Police Department. Welcome to the show, Chief.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Commissioner.
So tell us, what are some of your biggest challenges with the new City of South Fulton Police Force?
Well, as you could imagine, putting together a new police department can be a daunting task. I mean, we're literally starting a police department from the ground up. Sometimes we have issues with resources, getting enough police officers hired and getting them out to the street in a timely manner. We're in the middle of trying to build our police headquarters. We're going through right now a beat redesign. We inherited beats from Fulton County, and as you can imagine, they haven't been redone since 1971. And so, and each one of our beats is the size of College Park. So we have to figure out a way to try to reduce those beat sizes and increase them so that we can decrease our response times to our citizens.
Well, I know you've been working hard, and we appreciate all the work that you've
Absolutely.
been doing. Tell us about some of your biggest successes since coming on as Chief of Police in the City of South Fulton.
Well, I mentioned the beat redesign. That's going to be really important to us as we move forward. I've been able to double the size of our narcotics unit and triple the size of our gang unit. We've also instituted a assets forfeiture unit also, which is really huge in making sure that we're putting together comprehensive investigations. We want to make sure that those people that are involved in illicit activity, that we're relieving them of their drug assets and things of that nature. And so far, the City of South Fulton, we've managed to seize over $870,000 in drug and gang assets so far. As we move forward, we've been able to hire at least 53 police officers. We're expecting to even build on that. And so our recruitment efforts have been an extreme success for us as well.
That's awesome. Good to know that information. We know you were in College Park as chief
Right.
for a while. So what made you come and what made you choose the City of South Fulton?
Well, I really enjoyed my time in College Park, and I have a great deal of respect for the people there, certainly. But coming over to the City of South Fulton, putting together a brand new police department was extremely appealing to me. Being able to put it together in the mold of the 21st century policing model, being able to expand it throughout the City of South Fulton. As you know, we're almost 100 square miles, and being able to develop a police department that covers that geographical area is extremely important, and it'll be important to the citizens of South Fulton as we move forward as a city and as an organization.
I know that that's been, I know getting in from the ground up and having a chance to put your hand and put your fingerprint on the entire process is important, so I get it. Tell us how crime in South Fulton compares to other neighboring cities.
You know, it compares favorably. Just recently, I had the opportunity to engage the Cascade Merchants Association, and we talked about crime patterns and trends from areas like Buckhead and Southwest Atlanta in comparison to what we're experiencing in the City of South Fulton. And The city of South Fulton is much larger geographically than the Buckhead community, but we're experiencing fewer crimes. In southwest Atlanta, the geographical mass is much smaller, but our crime compares very favorably to those areas, in addition to Sandy Springs and some other areas. And so we look at the crime patterns and trends that we're experiencing in South Fulton, and we're sharing criminals with other areas. And it's important that we take a geographical approach to our crime fighting strategies. We're getting together on a lot of gang initiatives and things of that nature so that as we move forward as a police department, we're making sure that we're building the right types of partnerships with cities like Sandy Springs, College Park, Union City, and East Point so that we'll have the appropriate types of strategies as we move forward.
Well, this next question, I guess, it's a little challenging, but why does the news report everything from being a crime in South Fulton when it may or may not? It might be Southwest Atlanta, but
yeah, and that's a huge problem, not just for the city of South Fulton, but for a lot of the cities in our region. I think when we look at a lot of the news reports, they now say from South Fulton County, and most of our citizenry doesn't know that it's coming from Union City, College Park, or other jurisdictions. They automatically hear South Fulton and equate that with the corporate city limits of the city of South Fulton. I think it's important for us to work with a lot of these search engines, because when the news reports things and when they're searching for things, they'll search through the search engines and they'll say South Fulton County, they'll say College Park. I think it's important for us to identify and narrow down our geographical boundaries so that we're able to better educate our citizens on what our boundaries look like in comparison to our neighboring cities. And so that's going to be a work in progress because, as I said, we're not the only city that's suffering from that in the southern part of the region, but we want to make sure that we're educating our citizens and working with those search engines to try to help better define our borders.
Yes. And I guess I imagine the city of South Fulton is 5 or 6 times as large as most of the other neighboring cities.
Right. I mean, you look at College Park, it's 15 square miles. East Point is a little over 20 some odd square miles, and we're close to 100 square miles, just a tad smaller than Atlanta. And so that's going to be important for us to be able to shore up our boundaries and make sure not only that we shore up those boundaries, but that we have cooperation along our borders as well.
Yes. So tell us what your vision is for the South Fulton Police Department over the next 5 to 10 years?
We want to make sure that we're on the cutting edge of technology. Police technology is rapidly growing and evolving, and we want to make sure that the city of South Fulton is on the forefront of that. We have a clean slate, so right now all of the technology that we get the opportunity to invest in is going to be top-level technology. One of the things we talk about is we're constantly talking about putting cops on the dots. Well, what we want to do is make sure that we're putting cops on the dots and telling them what to do when they get there. So we're in the process of building a grid map that allows us to embed data in that map so that as we send our police officers out to certain areas, they're able to go out and identify our repeat crime locations. They're able to see the BOLOs, be on the lookouts that exist, warrants, gang members, where they live. So not only are we sending them out to those areas, we're telling them what data we want them to respond to when they get there. And see, so that's going to be really important to us as we move forward, making sure that we're harnessing our intelligence and sending it out to our officers in a very meaningful way.
Commissioner Darnell used to always talk about the data and
Right.
the gathering of data and how important it is in making a decision, right?
Absolutely.
So, just a couple more questions. How do you plan to engage our youth or the youth in the city of South Fulton and to work with them,
Right.
not necessarily only on the punitive side, but also on the proactive side?
It's really important for us to engage our youth in a meaningful way. I think we don't want to limit our responses to just negative interactions with our youth. We've had discussions about bringing back the Police Athletic League within the city of South Fulton Police Department. Right now, we're attempting to partner with the Fulton County Schools in an effort to bring back DARE programs. A lot of the issues that we're suffering from with respects to our youth is not unique to the city of South Fulton. It's taking place throughout the region. And so making sure that we're educating our children on gang prevention, drug prevention, and things of that nature. It's going to be really important to our city as we grow to make sure that we're giving our youth the proper tools that they can make informed decisions as they grow as well. And so we're looking at a lot of different initiatives. We've looked at some community partnerships as well. And it's going to be important for us to be able to leverage those partnerships in a very meaningful way.
Right. Well, I know that you're going to continue to do a stellar job, just as you did in College Park, and just as the citizens of South Fulton have seen in your time there. How long have you been there now total?
It's almost a year,
in
the city of South Fulton. I'm coming up on a year right now, and we'll be doing a review of that first year. Certainly, we've had a great deal of successes, but we also see room for improvement.
How can our audience stay connected with the City of South Fulton Police Department?
Well, we would encourage people to go to our website and engage our website if they have any feedback that they would like to give to the police department. We also have a See-Click Fix app that our citizens are able to download so that when they see abandoned vehicles, when they see code enforcement issues, they're able to actually put that information into the app, and then we route it to the appropriate department. So we're in the process of creating some really innovative stuff in South Fulton, and we're excited about that.
Awesome. Thank you again for stopping by. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Same here. Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back. Join us. I'm honored to serve as the executive sponsor of Arts and Culture for Fulton County. I also serve on the Atlanta Fulton County Recreation Authority and the Arts Commission for the National Association, or NACO. In our arts segment, I like to highlight arts and culture organizations and programs in Fulton County. Today, please meet Mr. Gilbert Young, world-renowned artist. Welcome to the show, Mr. Young.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, tell us, when did you first discover your passion for the arts?
Well, man, it goes way back now. I was 7 years old, and I'm 77 this year, so that's a long time.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So 70 full years of doing art.
Doing art. And
all visual art or?
All visual art.
Okay.
Can't play a thing. Wish I could. Can't sing either.
All right, and so tell us, how is your artwork been connected with the Pittsburgh community?
Well, the Pittsburgh community, I volunteered in some of their associations, their community association, and then I was lucky enough to be commissioned by Wonder Roots to do some historical markers because of the gentrification that is coming in, and we want to make sure that there is something there to remind the people of the establishment of that community.
Awesome. And so for those that may not know who Gilbert Young is and why it is, and so why I feel so happy to have you here with us today, let our audience know some of the most popular pieces that you are known for.
Well, the one piece that I feel like some of them old singers that I had to keep singing the same song over, but He Ain't Heavy, which depicts a brother reaching over a wall trying to help another brother.
Yes.
And so that has been my signature piece, and it's over 40 years old now, and we're still selling it today. Matter of fact, they did a large rendition of it on King Street and Memorial Drive. So it's 5 stories tall, and so I get great pleasure of looking up and seeing it.
Awesome, awesome. And tell us, where are some other places that people might be able to see some of your work?
Well, we have one on Stewart Avenue, and we have the largest painting I've done. It was over 700 feet long on Ralph David Abernathy and Metropolitan, where we completed a painting there as also.
Awesome, awesome. All right, now, I thought that you were going to talk about this earlier, but tell us about your work with President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama?
Well, I was very lucky to be introduced to President Obama, and I did a portrait of him, and he signed the portrait. And that was great, and I never will get over that, because when he recognized my work and said, "Is this you?" and then he was pleased to meet me, and so he signed the piece for me.
Awesome.
And later on, David Scott's wife called me and said, "Well, are you busy?" And of course, I wasn't busy. and she said, "Would you mind painting a painting of Mrs. Obama?" And that's how that took place.
Awesome.
You know.
Awesome. All right. So, how can we, as the community of Fulton County, assist in preserving your legacy? You know, I heard someone once said, you know, support living artists because the dead ones don't need any support anymore.
That's right. Well, one thing, they can go to my website, number one, and look what I have there, and it's gilbertyoungart.com. It's a very simple way. If you can remember my name, you can remember my website. And so, you know, be supportive and look on there, and I hope that people like what they see, and I hope that they purchase what they see.
Awesome. You know, I'm hoping I can be looking like you at 77, Brother Young, still working and
Yeah.
still a lot of vitality. I love it.
Yeah, well, you know, the arts of, you know, it's exciting to be an artist and to be able to get up every day and try to create. And I've been honored with being an artist in residence at ITC and artist in residence for a most famous artist, Bill Trailer. And if people would look up Bill Trailer, he just got finished with a show in the Metropolitan. Now, Bill Trailer is long since gone, but he is a historical figure, one of our leading black folk art.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for coming on the show. We thank you for all that you've done, for helping to contribute to the cultural scene in Fulton County and Atlanta. So we thank you very much.
All right, my pleasure. I love it.
When we come back, our Did You Know segment. As we conclude today's show, we would like to provide information about Fulton County services in our Did You Know segment. Please meet Dr. Arthur Ferdinand, Tax Commissioner with Fulton County's Tax Commissioner's Office, as he shares information about Georgia Drives.
Georgia Drives is the new motor vehicular system. It's a system that we use to produce or give you your tags on your birthday. It's a system that you use to get your decal when your renewal time comes up. The acronym stands for Driver Record Integrated Vehicle Enterprise System, DRIVES, and it replaces the system we used for the last 15 or more years. This is a new system, but we have been in training for over a year in the use of this system. And so today, we went live. Today, May 28, we went live. And so all our people are busy. They're working overtime to make sure that customers are well served. You should not see any difference at the counter when you go to this system. But to our employees, it is a modern system filled with all the modern technologies. The look and feel is easier. It's the look and feel of modern systems when you go online to shop or when you're using your cell phone or going on the internet. So it's very, very modern in terms of the things that you can do and how it feels. But again, you should see no difference when you go to service. The service time should be just as the same, short, or people will be just as pleasant. They may be a little frustrated at times when they encounter some new things that they haven't seen, but these folks have been in training all year long. In addition to that, to make sure things go smoothly, the new Department of Revenue Commissioner, David Curry, he has given us about 8 people to be spread around the county. We have 6 right down here in our headquarters in downtown Atlanta, work with us. Those folks came from all over the country to make sure that Fulton County is well served, to make sure that we have no hiccup that we can't fix. So I'm very confident that things are going well, and I have been in the front counter all day long making sure that things are moving. And so I'm very, very, very pleased with it. Thank you, Commissioner Arrington, for having me on.
As we wrap up District Dialogues, I'd like to invite you to stay connected with my office. You can reach me by phone, email, website, and through our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.